Is the 2022 Honda Navi, and as you can see, it's got little wheels on it, and we'll go over a few details. To start it, you've got the front brake lever. You have to hold that in. You have to twist the throttle open a slight amount and then hit the starter button there with your thumb to get the electric start started up. And inside the fuel cover there, you got enough room to store a garage car opener. You can take the fuel cap off. When you're fueling it, you can put it right here and it won't move off of there, so that you can fuel it at the gas station without getting dirt all over the fuel cap and into the tank. So that is very, very handy. I'll put the fuel cap back in there. Put my garage opener. We'll close that up later. It has in there, that's the fan to cool the motor. The muffler extends out quite a ways from it so that you can remove the rear wheel, which has a car type of rear wheel. You just unbolt it and you can just take it off like a regular car wheel and do whatever you need to do with it. It has all kinds of lights on it, reflectors everywhere, and when you open up the seat, in there is a large area there that you can actually store stuff in with the manual, and it came with a ultimate plug-in for a trickle charger. So you just pull that cord out, plug in your trickle charger, keeps the battery charged up all winter, and then you just slide it back down and there you go, clicks in place. This here's the air filter. Comes off with a bunch of screws around the outside. Very handy to have. It has a center stand, but as you can see, the center stand is right up against the Kickstarter, so you have to be really careful. If you're got the engine running and you decide to put it on the center stand, you're most likely going to kick over the Kickstarter, which can cause damage if the motor is running on it. And rear foot pegs, of course, and you get a really big storage area in here. I think you could probably fit a jug of milk in there pretty easily. And it's got a seal around it. You just do that and she's locked up. Very easy for carrying stuff around. I decided to put a few stickers on here to remind me which way the tank selector goes. So it's got a little notch on the bottom of this one here, and that's actually pointing in the direction of where it's selecting. So you have the little notch down, that's on. Off to sideways, you have it going sideways, that's off. And then if you have the little notch up, that's your reserve tank, which is quite small, but considering it gets pretty good fuel mileage, it'll get you a few miles to a gas station when the engine runs out of gas on the regular tank. It's basically, the tank has one normal position. It has a hose coming up part way, and which leaves some gas down in the bottom, so when you run out you can switch it on to reserve and get a few more miles out of it. It has your high beam, your low beam, your turn signals, push in to release the turn signals, and a little horn button. And I have the parking brake on. So this is a parking brake. Since it's an automatic and it's always in neutral when the engine's not running, you need to pull this in, pull that lever in, and you can hear it click into place. So it locks into place, and then the motorcycle won't roll away. It's important to do that because if it rolls forward, the side stand will pop up and the bike will fall over and could cause some damage. Turn signals are really nice on this. You can actually see these while you're riding, so you know which turn signal you have on. On the dash, yeah, this is like a couple of weeks after I got it. I'm almost up to 500 kilometers, another 100, and then I'll be able to do the first tune-up on it, check the valves, replace the engine oil. And it's got a nice bar across here, which I think you could probably get some kind of foam wrap to go around there to mount things on if you wanted to. It's a very light bike. It does get blown around the wind because all the weight is low down, and it's got lots of sail up here, I call it. Lots of surface for the wind to blow on. So in a wind, it is a bit sensitive to getting blown around a little bit. And this brake here operates the front and the rear brakes. And you also have this as a front brake, so that when you're braking, you can really reef on the front brake. That's where most of your braking force is going to come from. Typical motorcycle kind of thing. So you can actually, for beginners, you can just use the foot pedal there. You'll use a little bit of front brake and mostly rear brake. And for you pros out there who know how to use a front brake, you basically just pull it in slowly till you feel that resistance, and then gradually keep squeezing it as the weight shifts forward. Your traction on the front wheel will increase. And that's basically it. It's very simple and very pleasant bike to ride. I'm sure putting a lot of miles in it lately. Seat is very comfortable, and let's just lock the fuel tank here. Don't want to lose my garage door opener on it. Everything is very useful on it. It has a belt drive in there, right down in here, and so we can put it on the center stand here. Let's just see if I can do that. Okay, foot down, pick up on the rear handlebar, and there we go. Now we're on a center stand, which is a good thing for a small bike like this to have a center stand. My CBR doesn't have one. I really missed having that on there. And there is a kickstarter. Just turn the key on, and we'll see if we can get it started. Wow, look at that. Started first time. Wow. Usually I have to crank on it quite a bit when it's cold in the morning to get it started. Has a very pleasant engine sound. A little bit of a heat guard on here to keep you from getting burnt by the muffler. And its carburetor sits in there. And so yeah, it's I'll show you where the idle adjustment is. So it's hard to see where the idle adjustment is. You have to get a screwdriver going to these two hoses here, and right inside there, see it in there. There are two brass things in there. The one on the right that has a spring wrapped around the screw, that's the idle adjustment. So you turn it clockwise, bring the idle speed up. When I first got it, the carburetor had been taken apart on this bike, brand new, because they let the fuel sit in the fuel tank, and fuel these days goes bad within about 30 days, and that's because the fuel nowadays has ethanol in it, which absorbs water and gunks up the carburetors. So you definitely want to go down to the carburetor here in the bottom of the float bowl. There's a screw that you can use to drain the carburetor, and of course you can turn off the fuel valve there and drain it, so there's no fuel sitting in the carburetor over the winter, and she should start up right away. So there's a few tips on the Honda Navi. For the price, you can't do any better than that for a new bike. This one cost me a little bit over $2,000, and it was sitting in the shop. I guess they couldn't sell it, so I got a really good discount on it, and I'm really happy with it. It's a very good, easy running bike. Gets up to 70 kilometers an hour fairly quickly, and then after that the engine slowly starts running out of power to get up to much faster than that. You might get up to 50, 55 going down a hill, but 50 is pretty much the upper limit for it. But for a small bike for running around town and back roads and stuff like that, it's absolutely ideal. I've been averaging 106 miles per gallon on it, and today I did a longer ride that went on quite a few miles, and I got her up to 48 kilometers an hour. It's still in the break-in period, so I don't want to do too much of that until after it gets broken in, which will be in about another 120 kilometers. So that's it for now. It's a really good bike to even for advanced motorcyclists. It's just great for getting around town very easily. Lots of features, storage capacity that you don't normally find on a motorcycle. Makes it very handy for picking up a jug of milk at the supermarket. So that's it. Oh, one other thing. The speedometer looks great during the daytime. The numbers look black, but the darker it gets, the redder the numbers get, and eventually all these kilometer an hour numbers, they all become a big red blur at night. It makes it very hard to actually read anything. So you kind of have to remember where the blurry spots are and what speed it's supposed to be. So that's one of the odd things about it that makes it not very good. Plus, you do get a fuel gauge. Yep, you get a fuel gauge with this bike, and I've just been out riding today, and as you can see, I'm already down halfway. It goes down pretty quick, that the gas gauge, because it's not even 1 gallon of gas in there. However, with the fuel mileage on it, it's not bad. Usually every second day I fuel it up. Anyway, I've got to get going now. Back to the ride.